Science production on Gleba is not quite up to scratch. I'm gonna pull the quality out of there. It's not quite double, but it should help. We're back in business, everyone. This is filling up. How are the spores doing? Ooh, there's a lot of guys here. That is a lot of death sitting on this belt, waiting to happen. Oh, it's amazing. Mountain Dew and Slurpees on fully saturated belts. 10k, 11. We did it, chat. Today be Fulgora Day, and then we Fulgora'd all over the place. Okay, so, big plans today. Last stream, we got Gleba working really well, maybe even too well, because this belt is completely full, and it's to the point where these chests are so full, and they're not getting extracted from, that they're completely spoiling. Suffering from success is, I think, what it's called. So I tried to increase the number of rockets we have, but I'm not producing rocket parts on Gleba. So I had to increase the size of the shipments coming through. I've got 8 times rocket supplies here now. It used to just be 2 or 3. And I built another ship, which is currently just sitting around trying to get power. I might have to quickly do the little remove the beacons and then put them back in kind of thing. But we have been researching stronger explosives to the point where we're now at level 20. I think we were at level 17 at the end of last stream. So that's been huge. And the other thing too is I did research a little bit more research productivity, and that's given us a little bit more, well, research productivity. So that's been really good. And I've queued up a whole bunch of stronger explosives too that'll hopefully just chip away while we're working on Fulgora today. We do have quite an extended carbon fiber setup going, and we have accumulated a little bit of legendary carbon fiber. So that's very nice, although it is slow. Yeah, and then the rest is just all this and a dizzying amount of robots going everywhere. But anyway, enough dallying. Today is Fulgora Day, and I really should have brought my night vision goggles because it's a little bit difficult to see here. Let's take a look at what we have in our vicinity. We've got this nice big landmass here, and we have a little bit of land available up here, but I'm thinking we need something even bigger. So I might just quickly fly around for a bit, and we can have a look and see if there's any good plots of land that we can start building on, because the bigger the plots of land we can find, the less foundations we have to place down. Even though I have a huge supply of foundations, we've got foundations in here, I've got foundations on me, and we have foundations up on the ships in here. We have a lot of foundations, and I'm pretty sure we should have some at Aquilo as well. Yeah, we got foundations there and parts to make foundations. So we got plenty of foundations, that's not a problem. We need to source our scrap from the little islands. That is something that we learned a little while ago, a few streams back. The little islands are what provide us a good deal of scrap that doesn't seem to run out. The other thing too is I brought some quality mining drills because they have a much better resource drain. I don't have any legendaries, unfortunately, but these give you a better resource drain, which should help us a little bit in conserving the amount of scrap that we have access to, which means we don't have to keep migrating our stations around, even though that shouldn't really be too big of a problem. Okay, looks like we've got some land masses out over here. I should really have brought some more. Ooh, hang on, this is getting kind of big. Ooh, okay, hang on, this might be it. We may have just found a big landmass. Yeah, yep, I'm liking it. Damn, it got dark here. Okay, so that's a pretty decent chunk of land. We could definitely build on that for our mega science factory. And this is kind of like gambling, kind of like loot boxes. You're just flying around, you see something really good and you go, oh, but there's another little inkling of a landmass up there. I gotta go check that out. You know, just one more peek. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. And then you get there and it's like, oh, it's looking good. And then it stops. And you go, oh, it wasn't as massive as I thought it was. Okay, but this is looking pretty good as well. We've got this big landmass, which is closer to us. This landmass is pretty big too, but let's head back south. We're kind of just getting average looking islands out here. They're workable, but just not great. Ooh, hang on, what do we got here? What the heck? Is that a chunk error? This landmass is just like, yep, cut off. Someone just took a knife and just sliced it out. Give me my islands back. Who stole it? Which one of you stole this island? Oh, hang on. This is a nice big chunk of land. How close is that? That's pretty close as well. I wonder if I grabbed foundations, how many stacks of it do I go through? So a line from here to here took 450 foundations. It's 9 stacks. 9 stacks to fill that. Ooh. See, this is why I wanted to try and conserve. But I think this is going to be the continent that we have to work on because it's got close proximity. So if I grab a big slab and just... Yeah, we're definitely running out of foundations. I need the space here because I'm going to be making a lot of spaceports. Hang on, let's just blow up some of these cliffs. I need a big spaceport so I can ship all of the Sleppy science up. And I thought a nice big flat plot of land is probably going to be what's needed. Oh, hang on, what's being destroyed on Narvis? Oh, these guys have decided to fight back again. Okay, interesting. That is a little bit annoying, but no big deal. We will sort that out another time because these guys will just run into the wall and die. That's fine. Let's try and figure out what it is exactly we need to build here. First of all, we need to figure out our rocket delivery system. So if we come down here and just grab this old thing, we come back to Fulgora, and we plonk it. Let's put it here. Boom. And we don't have the foundations to finish that off, but that's okay. So that's the rocket delivery system. That's going to give us all our science packs. Then we need to bring the science packs somewhere, and we need a station somewhere to supply the scrap. Station can probably go on this side because we have a little bit of scrap here that we could actually use. Oh, whoops. That's a problem. That's a problem. Lightning towers. We don't have any lightning towers. I completely forgot about the lightning already. No, we don't have any. 1. Okay. That's not great. Lightning rods. How do we make lightning rods? Copper cable, stone bricks. Where am I going to get more stone bricks from? There's stone. One of the primal ingredients. Yeah, here we go. Stop the lightning. Stop the lightning. Oh, it's bad. I can't fit the lightning rods. It won't fit. Okay, hang on. Here we go. Can stick one of those in. No, we don't have any foundation. Okay, hang on. We've still got space over here. We can save this. This rod won't fit. There we go. That'll help out a little bit. Yeah, that gives us a bit of coverage. Let's get started on turning this scrap into less scrappy scrap. So we can plonk down a bunch of these. Then we need to protect them with lightning. And a legendary substation will probably power them all. Main factory is probably going to be in all this area. So if we bring the scrap onto this side, on the right, that's probably going to sort us the best. Do we try for the disaster again of trying to do quality scrap? I don't know if I should bother. We've kind of done everything we need with quality, to be honest. Which reminds me, the Technomancers are actually getting kind of slow, so it's probably approaching time that we try and build a new space casino. Maybe one that goes through this route towards the solar system edge, just because there's a whole bunch of rocks out there. Okay, so that's going to give us scrap. We need a belt to deliver that scrap onto a main bus. Yes, we're finally building a main bus on Fulgora. Let's start grabbing our clusters of recyclers, shall we? So we have this little pod design here that works really, really well. Let's plonk down a few of these. Just a few, you know? Nothing too crazy or ridiculous or over the top or unfeasible or ridiculous or stupid or too many. Just a normal amount, you know? You guys get it. You guys know how we roll here. They're all screaming at me that they're not protected by lightning. Let's fix that. Now we need to place down a whole bunch of recyclers, which I have sitting in a convenient chest somewhere amongst all this. Chat, can you help me spot where the recycler chest is? It's right there by the belt. Why am I like this? Build my minions. Now, one thing that we do need to do is figure out how we're going to get the scrap on, but I can start with figuring out where the outputs are going to go. Okay, how many output ports do we have? How big of a bus can we build using this? Actually, the better question is, where is this bus going to go? This big area here is probably what we're looking at to build all this electromagnetic science. Slurpees need supercapacitors, accumulators, electrolytes, and holmium solutions. So, holmium is the most important product. Accumulators are really, really easy to do. Iron plates and batteries. Batteries are easy to do. Iron plates and copper plates. Copper plates come best out of low density structures. Supercapacitors need electronic circuits. Okay, so we can scrap blue circuits into green circuits. Holmium plates, that's coming from the holmium. Superconductors, what do they need? Copper plates and plastic bars, that comes from the low density structures, and the holmium plates, light oil, that's easy. So we can actually just completely scrap out the red circuits. We don't need those at all. This is where things get really interesting. This is the biggest project I've ever done on Fulgora. So much so that it's actually making a slight impact on my frame rate already. I don't know why. Sweet. All right, everything here is now powered. So the next thing we need to do, this is going to create a crap ton, absolute crap ton of stuff that most of it we don't even need. This has all got to go on a bus. Now, the question is, do we have a massive, how many of these do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We have 17 belts. So we're going to get a 17 belt bus. The question now is, do we keep everything mixed up in a big sushi bus, or do we split it early? We have a little bit of a structure over here somewhere. This thing here separates all the items, and then we would have buses for everything. So if we copy this is what separates me from being a big dumb stupid engineer to an absolutely retarded engineer, because I'm realizing as I'm building this that trying to squeeze all the items together is going to be a big logistical nightmare. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's how big our bus is going to be. Oh my goodness, that placement. Gonna use that 128 by 128 balancer. That's coming. Not here, but it is coming. I do have plans for that. Oh, that is cool. That is really, really cool. We need to get scrap plugged in. Surely I'm not making a terrible mistake here. You guys wouldn't let me make terrible mistakes, right? There we go, scrap's coming through. All right, so this is where things get a little spicy. So scrap goes in, recycled materials come out onto a massive belt. Okay, I think I just had an idea. Scrap recycling gives us 12 items. Recyclers have 12 outputs. So what I was just thinking, that I'm now not thinking anymore, we have a slight problem here with how much stuff we're making. It's not getting onto the belt in stacks. I mean, some of it's kind of coming out in stacks, like some of these gears and some of the ice I can see is stacking on the belt, but it kind of just spits it out as fast as it can, and now it's backing up, so that's not good. I was thinking maybe I can use a stack inserter and just space these apart and then just have stack inserters lined up all the way around it, but I need 12 outputs rather than... Nah, there wouldn't be a spot to actually insert everything, so that's not going to work. So we're just going to have to make do with how unstacked this belt is for now, and then we need to figure out a way to try and stack it up later. If we run the second bus belt lane thing, turn it around, jump it across, and plug that in, that's going to make even more crap. See, if this is supposed to in any way teach us about recycling in real life, I'm not sure it sends the message, because then you have to deal with all this logistical drama. It does kind of make you wonder how many players stopped when they got to Fulgora. That's going to form our third crap lane. So the question now is, how am I going to sift through all this stuff? I think the sifting area probably needs to go here. Close your eyes, chat. This is going to get ugly. Now, realizing that there are 12 items, I need a 12 lane bus. Let's consider this area over here is the place where we vaporize everything we don't need. So then we start by putting this through here. The iron gears are going to be a bit of a problem. This is where I wish we had those loaders that just shove things in. Gears need to come through here and get processed into iron, because we need iron for accumulators. Batteries need to probably just head straight over this way. Low density structures also need to get processed. Stone is not completely useless. We need to mix that with the ice and the holmium. Okay, maybe we need to rearrange this. So steel we don't need. Stone we do need. So I'm going to swap these around. Batteries we need. Can I pick up items off the belts? No, I can't. That's annoying. Wait, is there a filter for items that are on belts? That would be really nice if there was. Okay, that's 6 items we need to send to processing. So then we've got to figure out how to load up everything else on these buses because we have 17 buses to then filter out. Oh, goodness. Where are we going to do the holmium processing? Probably up here, to be honest. I think that's a nice and easy spot to do it. Nice big holmium processing lab here. I'm going to try and really do my hardest. I'm really going to try my hardest and make it not as bad as this spaghetti here. Electric Boogaloo is getting damaged. What are you talking about? Oh, because we don't have guns here. Okay. That's like a once in like every 5 streams that happens. Not going to worry about it. Ooh, big fat stacks are now sitting on this belt. Probably because they've been sitting here accumulating up. So that's a bonus of not having good enough throughput is they actually end up stacking. Batteries are good to go. Now, here's something that we can consider doing. Knowing that we only have one type of item sitting on these belts, now that we've separated them out, we could do a setup where you have your belt and then you have your stack inserters, which then join back up together like that. And then that takes your non-stacked belt items and turns them into stacked belt items. So that's something we can try and do if the throughput demands it, because that way we can fit more things onto the belts. It's kind of nice. Now, holmium, I think, can only be produced as a fluid inside of chemical plants. Yes. Last time we just did a big manifold, big old manifold, and we didn't get quite as many beacons stuck in there as possible. If we change this design up a little bit, grab our legendary beacons, fluid output will go on this side, so it's clear of everything else. Looks like I need more lightning protection. We must protect at all cost. This needs water, so what we should actually do is the ice should flip over to another side, and this should then continue over this way. So if the ice is then on this side, we need to turn that into water. 2 inputs need to go into here. I think we can easily do that like this. Something like this might work, and then we can just bulk insert. Yeah, okay, so this design's going to work. So then if I copy this down here, yeah, that tiles. We'll probably process the ice on this side, so I think we can just go with a regular manifold. We don't exactly need crazy amounts of speed. A couple of beacons here will do the job just fine. Gonna melt the ice. We can't do that in a foundry, can we? Why can't we melt ice in a foundry? Oh, I guess that would turn it into steam. Like, straight away. Yeah, alright, never mind. It's possible that this is not going to work very well because we might be producing more ice than can fit on these belts, but we'll try it anyway. We'll just see how we go. Why do furnaces freeze on Aquilo? The bigger question is, the cryogenic plant can handle extremely low temperatures. It needs to be thought out. Back to this. Okay, so we're going to get a nice big pipe of holmium solution coming out of here. And what we can do with this is slurp it down real nice in a couple of things. So first of all, let's grab ourselves foundries. This guy is going to be making holmium plates. We need a few of them. No, hang on. We can be a little bit more efficient with this. And once again, through the power of bacons, everything that's good in this world, we can connect them up with as many bacons as we need. We do need a spot for an inserter to be able to grab holmium plates out of, and then that can join back up to the main holmium plate bus thing, and then that plugs in like that. So that's going to be our holmium solution. When you do the control shift placement, it doesn't replace the pipes with the pipe to grounds like it does belts to belt to grounds. Interesting. Why is that a thing? Yeah, we can put productivity modules into here, giving us a grand total of plus 114% productivity. That'll be better if we had legendaries. I think that goes to 125%. But we don't have legendaries on us, so this will have to do. Now, I think we can just copy this design. That should be plenty of holmium plates to satisfy what we're going to build. There is one other thing we need to do with the holmium, though. We need to turn it into electrolytes. Electrolytes are done using stone, heavy oil, and holmium solution in an electromagnetic plant. This is where I'm going to use the good electromagnetic plants for. This is where things are going to get tricky. We need to try and squeeze everything we need while at the same time trying to get as many beacons attached to these things as well. This can just vent out immediately, but then we need heavy oil to come in. Where's my offshore? I don't have any. We need an offshore pump, which somehow works without getting rid of the cliffs. That's really nice. Holmium solution needs to come through as well. And then stone needs to arrive somewhere as well. We do still need to get oil under here. That kind of tiles. It's not as gracious as I would have liked it to be, but it does tile. So it's probably good enough. So if we then copy this, tile that down a bunch. Now we just need the ice to come through, which is not going to come through because we're waiting on everything to get processed. Okay, let's start thinking about how we process all this. Problem number one, gears. Gears are a real big pain in the butt. Is there anything we can do to gears, like turning them into stuff? Turning them into belts is probably the fastest way to get rid of them. An underground belt needs iron plates, transport belts, which need iron plates and iron gear wheels. Okay, let's try this. I've never actually made belts to get rid of these things quickly before, so this is going to be a new experience. First of all, gears. This is going to turn them into iron plates. What I might even do is instead rely on stack inserters to fill these. Now we can use gears along with iron to make transport belts. Stack inserter can then put that onto a belt. That's going to make underground belts, which is then going to end up onto one of these belts. Gears are going to crash into that. We might actually even do our little setup here we were talking about earlier, where we turn this into a stacked belt like that, and then this comes down, turns into fast underground belts, and then out these go straight into yet more recyclers, which can then split and return back to the main belt line. Something like that. I have no idea if this is going to work, but I'm hoping it does. I'm actually having second thoughts now, but we'll see what happens. Next, we need to get rid of concrete. The fastest way to get rid of concrete, if we have a look at the recipe, concrete recycling takes 0.62 seconds. However, hazard concrete recycling takes 0.01 seconds. So if we then take our crafters, turn this into hazard concrete, which then extracts into a recycler, probably like this, and we can just have that feed back onto the belt as it comes back around in a loop. And that's gotten rid of all of the concrete. Nice. So that's 2 items now dealt with. Steel is the next one. We can do a similar trick with the steel. If we have a look at how long it takes to recycle steel, 1 second does 1 steel in a recycler. That is terrible. If we turn the steel into steel chests, 0.03 seconds to get rid of a steel chest. So once again, bring this down, turn this into a loop. Stack inserter can stack those. Bulk inserter can input back in. We recycle those. So that should now sort out steel. So that's steel sorted. Now, unfortunately, we can't just do the same thing for these 2 items, but fortunately, copper cables break down really, really quickly, and then they turn into copper plates.